Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a brick set and to hang out with all of you. And I'm starting things off by throwing the bear cave, the Lego, the scythe, the Bluetooth emote, or the blue emote, Bluetooth emote, the blue emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. If you feel like being a lurker, you can go ahead and lurk. That's also okay. It is a Saturday evening. I've got my Santa hat on. I am ready for some festivities. It is the weekend before Christmas, just days away. On Monday, I will begin doing a festive build. I will pause the brick set that I'm working on right now to work on a Lego set that is within the holiday festivities. I should also just say before we get deep into it, immediately, bitrate is going to be a little weird tonight. That does not seem to be on my end. It does seem to be on Twitch's end. I ran a test, what's it called? The name of it is, the Twitch test, which is a piece of software that pings all of the different, any server you want on Twitch's network, to give you like what the ping looks like and what the quality of it is. And all of them seem bad. I don't know if that is an abundance of people streaming right now or what, but, my internet seems to be okay, but maybe Twitch's servers are a little overwrought. We'll see. So hopefully we'll be okay. I won't get disconnected, anything like that. But I can't make any necessarily guarantees. But I can tell you that it's going to be a fun night. This is warmer than my normal hat, so there's that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hanging out with y'all. I think we might be cozy tonight. I think tonight might be a chill evening. We might not we might have people out and about, perhaps at Christmas parties, perhaps doing some things and not they're in the Christmas spirit outside of the house and not in the house watching me on stream, and that's okay. It'll be all right. At the very least, there'll be a VOD of this. So if people miss it in the moment, they can catch it later. That's my promise to you. I have not figured out... I thought I figured out why my source files, my local files were so huge, and I fixed that. I don't think I fixed it yet. I got to figure that out. It's very frustrating. But I can tell you, going over to the overhead feed, this should be less yellow than it was on Thursday. I have white balanced this, and so it should be better than it was. It already looks better than it was on Thursday. If you missed Thursday's stream, there'll be a little bit of shaking here because it's a little unsteady right now, the camera, but it should be fine. What had happened was I got new bulbs specifically just for when I'm streaming. I have higher watt LED bulbs that project way more light onto my build surface, which is here, and also reflect on me, so I might have to white balance myself at some point. But our overhead lighting is far superior than it was previously, and that should lead to a better time on stream for everybody. So I added those on Thursday, but what I didn't do was white balance in accordance to it. I messed that up. So I did that tonight. It got that ready, and I'm fairly happy with it. It feels bright. We'll get a sense of it once we start actually assembling things. But here is what we're working on tonight. This is we got 5 lenticular cards. Let's see if we can get that lenticular thing going there. A little bit. Yeah, there you can see it. Like that. Moves around. Looks very fun in person. There are 5 in here. We're working on the Mega Pokemon Kanto Region Pokedex brick set. So it will resemble a Pokedex from the Kanto region, and it'll have a little stand that it goes on, and then I'll have 5 cards that I can exchange in there to see like what entry I am on the Pokedex. And the thing that I love, which I didn't notice at first, and I think is a fantastic element to this, is the photos of the Pokemon are renders of how they look in the Mega Pokemon sets. So they don't look like the anime or the manga. They look like what you would get if you bought a, Pikachu or a Charizard or a Charmander. If you bought that, that's what they would look like if you bought the kit. And I think that's a lovely and neat attention to detail. So hats, hats off to you. So we'll work on that. We'll build this. I'm going to show you this box, which I think is very fun. It opens like, kind of bend that out and opens up like that. And there we go inside. We do have in our instruction booklet. We do have numbered bags, but we are going to open the first 3 bags and then later open bags 4, 5, and 6. And we do get a part separator here, the building tool as they call it. So we'll get some tools going here. And yeah, we're gonna separate here. We got bag 1, bag 2, and bag 3, and then bag 4, 5, and 6 for later. But yeah, they just want me to open up bags 1 and through 3 at the same time, which I get, but I don't love. I wish it was just, hey, open up bag 1. But it's like, nah, do all these. You can also get the instructions online if you would prefer to do it that way. I'm going to try to open at least one of these kind of well. Down the middle is seemingly the best way to do this, but I want to open one so I can put the extras or the remaining. Because what I need to make sure I do 100% when I'm done with this stream tonight, what I need to do is put any pieces that I haven't used yet in a bag, because on Monday I am going to work on a Christmas Lego set. So I don't want to mix up these 2 different things. It's fairly like some of these are fairly obvious. Like this piece, I'm not going to mistake for a Lego piece. I'm not going to go, oh, well, that's clearly a Lego. Like, no, that's not a Lego. That's a Mega. But something like this might be not so obvious that that is not what I'm looking for. So I got to be careful. I got to do my due diligence, and I will do my due diligence. All right, let's get that open. Oh, you did. Okay, it's in bag 3. I was like, this did come with a part separator. I do have another one. I don't need a collection of the Mega Constructs, but I do want to have one handy because there's some stuff that this is better than the traditional Lego brick separator. So I do like that. I do like the idea of having options. Okay, so that's bag 2. We're doing a triple check here. That's empty. Now I want to open up bag 3 differently than I did the other 2. Instead of ripping down, I'm going to cut it open from the top so that any extra I can do there. Because I think we might open up bags 4, 5, and 6. But, I'm expecting to just get through 1, 2, and some of 3 on this particular stream. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll get through all 3 of them. But I want to open it in a way that I can then put pieces in there, back in there that I didn't get to today for the future whenever we get back to it. Because the set that I haven't even added this in. I can do this right now. Why don't I do this right now? We'll just do Lego Xmas is the name of it. That's what I'll call it internally here, so I can find it later. And then if we go to Build Bear folder and find the Lego Advent Wreath. It's very big. The photo is too big, so we'll make it smaller. It's Lego Advent. This is the 2-in-1. I built the regular like Christmas wreath previously for this, and this is the Advent wreath. And obviously Advent's already happening, but it was a 2-in-1. I put this in my closet a while ago and then completely and utterly forgot about it until like this fall. I was like, oh, shoot, I have that still. And I didn't build the second part of it. So let me do that. Ooh, this lights up? Hell yeah, it lights up. All right, I don't want to mess with that until we need it, but I will open it. Got a piece here that lights up. And I don't, again, I'm not going to mess with it, but we got a little electronics in here. I'm going to leave the tab in. And it looks like I can unscrew this if I need to change the bulb or the battery, because hopefully it does seem to contain batteries. It didn't say batteries not included, which they by law should have to say if it does require batteries and you're not getting them. I don't know if they have to by law, but they should have to by law. That's my belief anyway. Put that there. Oops. That was the bag that I wanted to save, but I'll grab it later. I can do that off stream. And I've got myself a new brick separator, which I'll put over there. All right, so we got instructions there. So now I'm going to null by color. I'm just going to put all the red over there, and then I will separate here and I'll find the stuff later that I need. We got some odd colors. Sometimes I like putting those all together, because I know that like there won't be a lot of this blue, so it'll be easy for me to find it later. Or that purple. Just put it off there. I hope you're all doing well tonight. I hope a few more friends... Hey, well, let me real. I hope a few more friends decide to join us tonight. If not, that's okay. But I do hope that we do get a few more fine friends here on the stream. But I understand people are out there. People are busy, as I said. Perhaps there are some people that are out there with the holiday season and out and about. Maybe at some Christmas parties or the like, which is, cool. I am here. I have gone to... Have I gone to any? No, I haven't gone to any Christmas parties this year. I haven't been to any Christmas parties in person this year. I have been to a few digital get-togethers, and those were lovely. Those were a nice time. I had a good time at those, doing some virtual hangs, seeing some people. Okay, so one of these is yellow, and one of these is tan. And hopefully I will do the right thing with those. I don't like that. I don't like how close those two are in color. I almost got fooled. And I'm no fool, but I almost got fooled. So maybe I am almost a fool. All right, let's get some of this stuff separated here by color. Just going through the motions here, getting everything together that we need so that we can do this right when the time comes. And it'll be easier to find the pieces that I need to find when I'm like, oh, shoot. Well, if it's a gray piece, then it's in the gray pile, and it'll be a lot easier for me to discover them. What else to say here? I did remember on Thursday that this hat is warmer. Also, my room is probably warmer because I am now using brighter bulbs than I was previously. That is also probably one of the reasons why it feels warm in here, is because it probably is. Now, these are LEDs. Instead of incandescents, so they are not kicking up as much heat, but they are still kicking up some amount of heat. We are still doing that, plus the computer and all of that. It can be a warm room. And because I am not alone in the house, I have the door closed in the room, and that could, if the door was open, I would be letting some other air come in here. And that would certainly help, but that's just how it is. My folks, as they have previously, and as they do every year, are going to Florida. This year, they're only going for 4 weeks, so they are heading out the last day in January. But because I am doing a stream that day in the afternoon, I will not be moving all of my gear to the Carolina room, the other room, which I normally do, but I can have the door open for that stream, which will be nice because I'll be projecting some sound in that one. But I can have the door open, and that'll be fine because I will be in the house by myself. And then I will figure out what to do after that as far as sound goes. But yeah, that Friday, the 31st, I should say, I will be in this room streaming, and then I'm taking the next day off, so I won't be streaming that Saturday. So then I'll have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to move all my stuff out of this room into the bonus room in the house, aka the Carolina room, and that will be nice to give me some time, because I have a lot of gear, as you are well aware. I have all of the equipment, like my mic that I have to set up, the table, the 3 monitor setup that I have. I have to move all of that stuff out and get that all ready. And then also the overhead camera, I have to readjust that and reposition that and make sure that's okay. Moving my computer and all my gear out. And then checking audio, because the room is different. The audio will be different. The lighting will be different. So I have to do all of that and check all that stuff out. And then the last thing I do is, even though I do all my streams with the background remover, all of my videos that I do outside of it have a background. And so I then have to build a set, kind of, which is nice because I don't have to make it temporary. I can just make it for the whole month. I move a bookcase and then put a bunch of figures on there, which I really love how that turns out. And that's usually the last thing I'll do, because I won't even need that for the stream. I'll just need that for the day. It's like, okay. Also, that Saturday that I won't be streaming on just coincidentally happens to be the night of Survivors, not Survivor Series, because that just happened. That'll be the night of the Royal Rumble, which I really enjoy watching. It's one of my favorite shows to watch. So I'll be able to watch the Royal Rumble that February day, because it's February 1st this year. So I'll take I'll work that Friday, take that Saturday off, and I think that'll end up being nice for me, because I can get my computer set up, and even if I'm setting up other things while the wrestling is happening, that'll be fine. So there's a couple things about being in that room that I really like. The number one thing is, it is nice to have my work be separate from my sleep. You know what I mean? Having my computer, having my computer in another room is amazing. Like, oh, that's where I do all the work. That's where I hang out and, relax as well. But that's not that's not in the same place that I sleep. And then I will come in this room and I will relax by looking at the TV in here for a little bit and kind of chill out and then go to sleep, or just come in and immediately go to bed. But I won't have to think about shutting down, or I'll just be on the computer for another couple of minutes and then just turn and immediately fall into my bed. I don't mind living that way, but the alternative I really enjoy. So it is nice to have in there. And the other thing that's great about that is that it's just like a lot more space. It's a lot more open, and that might be bad audio-wise. I might have to adjust some things audio-wise and move some things around and redo some things. But in general, it just feels like I have a lot more. There's a lot more I can do in that space than this particular one, because I am kind of wedged in here, just as best as I can. I'm wedged into this room. Right now, where I build where I have my model kit sprues, where I keep all of that, is on a little card table. When that card table is in the right position for me to access it when I want to, I cannot get at my dresser, which is over this way. I have to move it, and then I can get at my dresser. So, once I set up my stream, fully, then I'm, blocking it. So then I have to, move it out, and then might shift some things and knock some things over. And it can be not great. Bobby says, yeah, splitting my work from home area from my fun computer area made a huge difference to me. Yeah. Again, I don't mind living this way, but the alternative is pretty cool. It also means that I'm not going to spend all of my time in this. Adding in a fourth room is pretty great, because otherwise I would spend all my time in 3 rooms in this house: my bedroom, the kitchen, and the bathroom. So I'm adding a 4th room because I'm the only person in this house for at this coming up a month. And so it's it's nice to go out there and be in the house, and the I have to walk through some rooms to get there, and it's not close to the bathroom, but it's close to the kitchen, and that's nice. And yeah, it will force me to get up and move around a little bit more, whereas I don't as much when I'm if I'm just in the house by myself for a day or a weekend or something. I don't move around as much as I definitely should, and that's not good for me. So it adds something, which is nice. Something's going on with Twitch. I ran an ad break before the stream started, as some of you know because you were here while it happened. But then they're like, hey, an ad's going to start in 5 minutes. And I'm like, no, it isn't. It might, but it shouldn't start in 5 minutes. Something's going on with Twitch, which is, not the best. Not thrilled with that. I will, I'll do my best here. My bitrate is still fluctuating around here and there, but it should hopefully not be super noticeable for you. And if it is, my apologies. But this is still preferable to the alternative, which is that I just constantly drop frames, which is really noticeable, in my opinion. Gets really noticeable that way. But yeah, I'm looking forward to, honestly, the big thing is I'm always happy for my folks to get out and go on a trip and have a good time. They go to Florida for it used to be for 6 weeks. This year it's just a month. I haven't noticed it hitching up or anything. All good so far. Great. Yeah, I mean, I'm way more. I theoretically, anyway, in practice, anyway, I should be much more conscious of the bitrate fluctuating because I can see the numbers and I can see the waveform. But unless it's completely and utterly dramatic, you won't notice it. And again, the bitrate will fluctuate instead of frames dropping, which is, again, incredibly noticeable and leads for a bad experience. Especially because of, as I said on Thursday, NVIDIA's change from the GeForce experience to just the app where they put all of their apps together, it optimized my OBS in a way that was weird, and I didn't ask them to do, because I didn't know they would try to do apps. I thought they would only. I thought OBS or not OBS. I thought NVIDIA only messed around with games, which I'm fine with them doing that. But yeah, they optimized my OBS, which meant that my encoding was making larger local files than I wanted. So now I have to like make sure that has been changed. And if it is still the files are too large, then I will simply just export the local. But the problem with exporting the local is if I get disconnected, it becomes two files. So then I have to upload like part 1 and part 2, or just upload both of them, and I don't want to do that. Or download Twitch's VOD and then combine them and then upload them, which is going to add a bunch of time, considering how not a super high amount of people watch the VODs. People watch the VODs. Hey, Lashbrook, welcome. I am not saying that people don't watch the VODs either on Twitch or on YouTube. People do. It's just it's not a super high number. So I don't need the Twitch VODs to be like incredibly high quality that is going to take forever to upload. I don't need that. So I'm trying to like have it not be like, I don't need to upload a 6 gig file, even if it is a 2-hour video. A 2-hour video being 6 gigs doesn't seem too outlandish. But an archive that under 100 people are going to look at lifetime, I don't need that to be 6 gigs. If it's 2 gigs, that seems fine. If it's 1.5 gigs, that sounds great. So I think I undid the optimization that NVIDIA did without me asking. I want to remind you. I think I have done that. All right, I have now sorted all of my stuff by color, and I nulled all of the red because there's so much red in this because the Pokedex is mostly red. All right, I need 1 large here. I need 1 large of this, which is the same size. Then I need a 2x4, flat 2x4, which is... I have to figure out where I put these now. There's 3, 2... red? Where are you? Oh, here they are. Found it. Got that there, and then I need just a 1 by 2. Okay. And the thing I always like to point out, because I really think it looks great, is you see these other colors here that, for some folks, this is not helpful at all because of color blindness. I do not have color blindness. So for me, this being like, this is where this blue is where this 2x4 goes, and this green is where that 1x2 goes. That is unbelievably helpful to me. I find that very helpful, especially since I'm doing red on red. Having that information is great. All right. That's step 1. We did step 1, everybody. Let's not get too excited, but we did do step 1. Half an hour in, we have done 1 step. But the sorting is important. Even if I'm going to undo a lot of the sorting by putting it all in a bag after the stream because I'm going to do Lego on Monday. Even with all of that, it's still important to do. All right, now I need a long friend. People have asked me before what I think about the Mega constructs, all of the Mega, and I said this in the pre-show, the pre-stream, that I think that I am now done saying that these are Lego knockoffs. Now, when I talk about brick kits that I buy on Amazon from weird companies no one's ever heard of, those are Lego knockoffs. Except for there's one on my wish list that isn't a Lego knockoff, it's a nanoblock knockoff. So that's a little different. But everything else are Lego knockoffs. But I'm not going to call Mega a Lego knockoff because that doesn't feel right. Because these are just like so well made and so well produced, and they have licenses. They have proper licenses. They're not just making licensed material. They have the licenses to do those things. And so it feels disingenuous to refer to them as knockoffs. So I will be referring these as just brick kits or Mega. All right, so we need this on this side, and then we need these go here. This. Oh wait, no, sorry. I could have used the brick separator, but I didn't. This goes like this. Oh, actually, we'll do it exactly how they have it. I don't know if there's a difference between this and this other than looks, but we'll go with how it looks there. So that goes like that. And then, oh, there's a hang off. I'm doing this wrong. Jeez. All right, let's try their separator here. Well, that works out great. Luckily, it's brick. You can fix it. And we did have some issues with the Verde Buster that I was working on, Gundam that I was working on this week. But those luckily got fixed. I was able to fix those issues. And that was some of that was, oh, this is not written well. And some of that was, oh, I'm just messing this up and I don't understand what they're asking me to do here. There's a little column A and a little column B on that one. Okay. So we got this done. We got this piece done. And then this is going to go here. And that looks right. That looks correct. Yeah. And then this little piece here goes there. That's an easy step. We did that. We have some stuff we can talk about tonight. In the second hour, we will talk about the 12th and final episode of Season 1 of Dandadan. Season 2 has been announced. There will be a Season 2, so we will be able to talk about that. And we'll talk about episode 11 of Dragon Ball Daima in the second hour. I'll talk a little bit about Final Battle, the Ring of Honor show that was last night. There were some decisions that I would describe as bonehead. The main event, I found completely foolish, like unbelievably foolish. We'll just go to the main event there. Although, what happened here? Throne is Throne wants me to secure my account, which I have already, so we don't have to worry about that. Athena, the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, main evented. The first time they've main evented in the Hammerstein Ballroom, women, I should say, specifically, which is very cool. Main evented, retained her title against Billy Starks. That is now the second time that she has defeated Billy Starks, who was all but leaving her faction. That is unbelievably foolish. Look, I just want Athena to not be in Ring of Honor anymore. I want her to be on regular AEW television like she was when she came in. The fact that she's stuck on Ring of Honor, which not a lot of people watch outside of the big the 4 pay-per-views week to week, it's just abysmal numbers because it's a paid service. So watching her, it's behind a goddamn paywall. I just want better for Athena, and I think there's no one on that roster that can beat her. So it's just going to be Billy Starks again at some point, which is not exciting for me. Like, they're like, oh, a third Billy Starks? Yeah, there'll be a third one, Pat. And I'm just like, okay, when's that going to be? In a fucking year? Like, Now, there exists the possibility that she will win because Athena is going to be in a 4-way fight at Wrestle Dynasty in Japan, and the winner of that can challenge the world champion of any of the 4 promotions that are involved: CMLL, Stardom, Ring of Honor, and AEW. So Athena could win that and then challenge somebody and maybe win, and that's her way into the promotion. That's possible. That could work out that way. But she could also choose to challenge the Stardom champion. That's also a viable thing there. That's just as likely. I don't know. I'm PO'd. I don't think that should have happened. There was good news. I think it would be a bad place for Athena to move to AEW right now, though. Mercedes is going to hold that belt forever, and we're likely about to get another Toni Storm run. Lashbrook, that's still better than being in AEW and not being used. Is still better than being on Ring of Honor every week for no one. Having a match once a month on a Wednesday or twice a month on a Wednesday is better than showing up for Collision and then performing after Collision in an unannounced match that most of the audience doesn't want to see and has left because they came for Collision and they don't care about Ring of Honor. I'd much rather Athena be on a show once in a while where people are fucking stoked that Athena is showing up than being on the brand that not a lot of people care about. I don't want to say no one. So say, look, do I think Athena's going to be a world champion? I don't know. But I do think that they're wasting Athena completely and utterly in Ring of Honor. She has nothing to prove. She's not there to get better. If she's there to make other people better, then fucking pull the trigger on Billy Starks then. Because other than that, what is she doing? She's just killing time until her contract runs out. I don't know. What are we doing? I don't think here's the thing. I don't think she needs a world title. And yeah, Mercedes probably holding the TBS championship until All In. She's probably going to lose it at All In. And so she's going to have it until then. And she's going to belt collect because Mercedes' match at Wrestle Dynasty or Wrestle Kingdom, I can't remember which one, is for a title. So she will probably win 2 belts of the Rev Pro title. She's going to face Mina Shirakawa and beat Mina. So she's going to become a double champion or a triple champion. She's going to be a belt collector. And then hopefully at some point we'll have Mercedes start to slowly lose all those belts, because that's always fucking fun when the belt collector has the inevitable starting to lose all your goddamn belts. Anyway, I'm just mad about it. That was the perfect time to do it, and they didn't do it. And then there are spoilers about tonight's taping of Ring of Honor that are completely backwards and nonsense. Unbelievable nonsense. Bad storytelling. But in good news, Commander won. Commander won the Ring of Honor Television Championship. They're not on TV, but whatever. Commander won the Ring of Honor World Television Championship Survival of the Fittest match, which is just their name for elimination match. And that's awesome. Commander is really deserving of that. Outside of the Lucha Brothers, luchadors don't do well in AEW. They get over, and yes, Hologram is probably going to win when Hologram gets out of his injury. Hologram is probably going to win a mid-card title. They're clearly pushing him to the moon, and I think that totally makes sense. But outside of Lucha Bros, and then again, a little bit of push for our boy Hologram, luchadors just never, they're just there to get pinned. They are there to take the pin. And so to have Commander, who stole the fucking show and put on an incredible match, for him to walk away with the TV championship rules. And I'm very happy for him. Congratulations to Commander. It's also hilarious because he got his ass kicked at the same exact time because Rampage is taped. So he was getting his ass kicked while he was winning a belt, which is funny. That's just the way it works out. And then Mark Davis was in a match also at the same time because he survived. Brian Cage, who was the champion going into it, he eliminated Willie Mack, who did some Willie Mack shit, got his shit in, and AR Fox, who was looking phenomenal, specifically for his age. A friend of mine jokes that, AR Fox has kind of slowed down, which is true. AR Fox has slowed down, from how he previously wrestled. Which is to say, he's still in fucking incredible shape and still fucking kicking ass, but he has slowed down. As how he used to wrestle. And then Brian Cage got eliminated by Mark Davis, who then got rolled up after a low blow, which is, of course, legal but not cool, by Blake Christensen. And then Commander defeated Blake Christensen and became the champion. And that was great. The heavily GCW audience knew to boo, and they did boo Blake, who is pretty much heel in Ring of Honor, finally. And so that works. That aligns his indie and Ring of Honor vibes. So that's good. The surprise of the night. I'm just kind of jumping around here, giving my thoughts on the whole show. The surprise of the night was Lee Moriarty's Pure Championship. He did an open challenge because Lee is a fighting champion despite being a heel in a heel stable. He's kind of a baby face, but mostly he's just really confident in his abilities. We didn't know who it was going to be. There were rumors of some people. Bandito had been rumored to be making a return to Ring of Honor, even though he's had promo packages or video packages, let's say, on Dynamite. There was talk that, Commander's in town, so he could be showing up. Turns out, no, it wasn't Commander. Not Commander, I want to say Bandito, I should say. It wasn't Bandito. Wait, which one? Did that go out like that? Sorry, I'm going to look ahead just a second here. No, that lines up. So that goes like this. Okay, that lines up like that. Great. Sorry, I wasn't quite sure how that was connecting. It was Nigel McGuinness, and it was a fucking killer match. It was old school rules, so slightly different pure wrestling rules. It whipped fucking ass. Lee Moriarty retained. Lee was one of the people who was working with Nigel for his return to the ring. It was a fantastic opportunity to showcase how good fucking Nigel McGuinness still is. He did all his old tricks. There was some confusion because they got a second referee to make sure he wasn't cheating on the outside, and then that both hurt and then later helped. And it was killer. It was killer and awesome, and I'm sure that Lee loved it. Lee Moriarty, a student of the game, AW's #1 Joshi fan. I know that he was fucking thrilled to work with Nigel, and it was a fantastic treat. There had been a few other people up for discussion, but that was one that people, I kind of jokingly was like, oh, well, I hope it's Nigel, and then it fucking was Nigel, and I was like, yay! Okay, so I need to do the short one here. 2, 4, 6, and then the long one. And then the other long one is going to go here. That. And then this goes like that. Okay. And then, and there's one spot there. Great. I'm figuring it out. It does show you how it looks, but I didn't even notice that. But yes. All right. Working on this. So that was awesome. Bandito did appear, even though his, I don't know why he did. It looked like Bandito may have landed on his fucking head immediately upon his return. He may have immediately injured himself. I have not seen any reports of that, but to kind of clear that up. But it did look weird. At the very least, it was a weird fucking moment. It was a strange moment there. So hopefully he's okay. My match of the night is either Lee versus Nigel or Commander in the winning the Survival of the Fittest, because those are both killer fucking matches. Boo and no thanks to the Ring of Honor stream. I'll just say that right now. It's been a while since I watched the Ring of Honor show as it happened. And the streaming quality is a fucking nightmare. The Bandito stuff is a bummer all around. Yes. Look, here's the thing. Did Bandito get hurt again immediately? I don't think so. Maybe he did. Either way, Bandito had a video packages that were awesome about him coming back to AEW, and then he appeared in Ring of Honor seemingly so that he can feud with Chris Jericho, which means he's losing his first feud. Bandito does have a Ring of Honor history, don't get me wrong. Bandito going over Chris Jericho could be fucking awesome. I think they should have given it to Matt Cardona, even if Matt Cardona is not signed with AEW/Ring of Honor. I think they should have just done it anyway because it would have been a big cool moment, especially with Athena retaining. But whatever, certainly not my call, of course. But Bandito being the next person to challenge Jericho, and you're thinking, well, Pat, he just showed up to have a cool moment. He did the belt around the waist symbol. He did the I'm gonna have this belt. He shouldn't. His first feud should not be one that he loses, and I just am not confident that he's gonna win it. You know what I mean? It's just just a bad, I don't know. Just, it feels bad, is what I'm saying. Feels bad. Goddamn Jericho. All right, so I don't quite understand how it wants me to lock it together. That goes on there. So I know this goes here, this goes there, and then does this go? Okay, so then this goes on here. And that goes on there. Okay, and then, all right, and then this 1x3, this 2x2 goes on top of that. Okay. That felt confusing, but I think I figured it out. Anyway, the stream looked really bad. I streamed on watchringofhonor.com, and it looked bad. In fact, the pre-show that was available on numerous places looked better on YouTube than it did on the Ring of Honor. So I watched the pre-show on YouTube because it looked better, and that's terrible. I was really frustrated with that. I have seen worse productions look better on stream in that venue. So that was a big bummer. It just looked that bad. Hopefully they'll figure out their shit with live streams at some point. Because it's just man, I know you don't have the funds of AEW, but come on, Tony. Throw some money that way. Make it happen. Okay, so I do want to talk briefly about two other things that happened on the show. One thing I want to bring up that I thought was pretty fucking rad was, and I'll give them credit, going into the show, I did not give a shit about Jay Lethal versus QT Marshall. I did not give a shit about that match going into it. Coming out of it, I still didn't really care, and I also don't think it needed to be there, because the story of Jay Lethal is coming to Ring of Honor to get his mojo back, that doesn't matter to me. I don't give a shit about that. But then, and he came out as Black Machismo. If you're unfamiliar with Black Machismo, that was Jay Lethal doing a Macho Man impression in TNA. And he also did it a bit in Ring of Honor. It's mostly a TNA gimmick. It's more remembered as a TNA gimmick, but he did do it in Ring of Honor. So he comes out as Black Machismo. Karen Jarrett, who's part of the stable, the unnamed Jeff Jarrett stable that Jay is a member of, she comes out as Sensational Karen doing a Sensational Sherry impression. Now, if you are going to do a Sensational Sherry, who of course did manage the evil version of Macho Man in WWF, well, then I guess I would prefer if you do it Oh, I should have done this first. Shit, I should have done this first. Sorry. Hold on. I don't know. I have to figure out where this piece goes. Oh, it goes here. Okay, I do know where it goes. All right. Should have done that connector piece first because I didn't know where it was supposed to go. It went there. Okay. Yep, and then like that. All right, great. If you're going to do Sensational Sherry, you should be with the Macho King and not Classic Macho Man, but I'll let that slide. I thought that was good. And then QT Marshall came out first, dressed as a shitty version of NWO Macho Man, which is, of course, the worst version of Macho Man Randy Savage, because it's him in the NWO and it didn't make any sense, and it was bad. Okay, well, TNA, end of his life, Macho Man in a black shirt, just all wearing all black. That's probably actually the worst. So NWO Macho Man is probably second worst Macho Man, I guess, is what I should say. So as much as I didn't like that match, I at least appreciated it existing the way it did. And so they hit me in the nostalgia, and I can't be the maddest about that because it was good nostalgia. We got to flip this over. It was pretty good nostalgia, so I'll give them credit for that. All right, did I do this correctly or nah? Looking at this, I didn't do this correctly. Or did I? I did do it correctly. Okay, because it goes in like that. No, that doesn't seem to fit right. So maybe I didn't do this correctly. Well, look, this goes here. That goes there. This piece goes. No, okay. So that goes in the middle. Yeah, it's like a 2 and a 2. And so then this should go in here. Okay, it does. All right, it does fit. Great. And then this goes. One of these goes here. Just see. Yeah, all right. One goes here. Then one goes here. Okay, got it. Great. And then I am going to start building the border. This is coming together pretty quickly. I think like there'll still be a few tricky bits here and there. Tricky bits here and there. But this is pretty straightforward. So which I don't have a problem with, certainly. 2, 1, and 2. The other thing that was cool that I will shout out here to the final battle, the Ring of Honor pay-per-view that happened last night, is the return of Danhausen. In a match that wasn't announced until like the day before, one of the opening contest of the night was Atlantis Jr. Wrestling Mansoor with his tag team partner Mason Madden in his corner, and there were shenanigans afoot, especially with Mason, and those shenanigans were quelled by the shenanigans of a returning Danhausen. Danhausen's in Ring of Honor, and okay, is he also going to be on AEW television? I don't know. Did they squash the beef? Did they figure shit out? Maybe. Was all of this GCW bullshit? Hey, Lord Crashington, did that like facilitate them working it out and figuring it out? I have no idea. But at the very least, right now, they are no longer paying Danhausen to just sit at home, and that's good. Good. Yeah, I like that. I like that being a thing. Danhausen is. Here's the thing. Danhausen can fucking wrestle. He also is a great merch seller and a big goof. And I do love that he was joking around not only about stuff that was on sale that people could buy, that was back in stock, new stuff in stock, but also he really wants to meet the Outrunners, who he, because he doesn't call people by the proper name. Already wondering if Danhausen will end up in the conglomeration, since he was in the larger version of the Best Friends. It certainly could happen. I don't know. But I don't know if he's going to be just on Ring of Honor, if he's going to show up on AEW television or not. I don't know. But I'm glad he's around because I think he's a good value for the company. He's a good wrestler and a larger-than-life nonsense character that people enjoy. So, glad it worked out. And at the very least, it worked out enough that he was on TV. it's been so weird that he's just been sitting at home, but they continue to make new merch. Yes, Lashbrook, and you may remember, not this Halloween, not 2024, but in 2023, he was supposed to come back. He was going to come back for Halloween, and they had a bunch of vignettes for him to come back Halloween, and then they announced a new shirt, and that was it. That was his big comeback. And then he randomly showed up in December of 2023 for like a couple weeks and then disappeared again. And then it's been a fucking year. It was so random. He didn't even come back at Halloween last year, and then he didn't come back at Halloween this year. Supposedly he was supposedly, depending on who you talk to, either no one was ever talking to him, or he was turning down stuff, or it was perceived that he didn't want to work Saturdays, to which I would reply, one, then you fucking tell him. You say, hey, we booked you for this show up. Or two, book him on a Wednesday then. If he'd rather do indie shows where he knows he's going to get booked, and so he's saying yes to indie shows, and you want him, book him on a fucking Wednesday. I don't know. It seemed kind of fucked. So who knows? Hopefully that's straightened out, because I do like Danhausen, and I'm happy that he seems to be back in some capacity. All right, so I got to put this 1x4, and I'm not exactly sure where it needs to go. Is it so it's 2 in, and then it's this one here. I think this is right, and then 2 that way. I think that's right. That looks okay. We'll find out. I think that's correct. Yes, okay. And now I need to do one that has some colors in it. Instead of having decals or decals, depending on where you are, we just got some buttons here for our Pokedex, just imprinted on the plastic there, and that's that's fine by me. So we need to do blue and the red there. We got to do this, and then that. So yeah, that was wrestling last night. Any other thoughts? Hanako still needs a lot of work, but she's fun, and Harley Cameron is getting better every time. Shibata versus Tommy Billington. Hey, guess what? Shibata made Tommy Billington look good. It's not hard. Tommy is only really wrestling in Canada right now, with occasional bouts in the U.S. For Ring of Honor, or for AEW. This was his debut in Ring of Honor. Well, of course, that's AEW Ring of Honor. He's still very green. And I would love it if he stopped doing some of the moves that his uncle did that are very dangerous for himself and other people. Namely, the flying headbutt. What if you stop fucking doing the flying headbutt? Nobody misses the flying headbutt. You don't have to do that goddamn move. Yeah, that's about it. That's my thoughts on that. I thought for sure Sammy Guevara was about to turn his back and turn on sorry, let me find the piece I need here. I thought he was about to turn his back on Dustin Rhodes, and we were going to get new tag champs, but that did not happen, because I'm always expecting Sammy Guevara to turn heel, because it's what he's best at, and I'm just waiting for it. I guess maybe they would do that on TV. They wouldn't do that on Ring of Honor. They would do that on AEW television or an AEW pay-per-view. But either way, I thought for sure. All right, more screen printed stuff here for some buttons that obviously don't work. Why would they? They don't need to. But yeah, that's it for that. A couple news stories to talk about here. We can save a couple for Monday. One I want to talk about right here, because we will take a pause for the cause in a moment or two. But there's one that I really did want to talk about. And I'm just going to read. Kotaku did a fantastic job with this title of this article for a top-down shooter that Ubisoft is making. Ubisoft's new game has Rayman! And Blood Dragon! And NFTs. That's just a phenomenal article title here. The top-down shooter requires a purchased NFT before you can even see a menu screen. Yeah, Ubisoft's still fucking doing this shit. Captain Laserhawk, the game, is attempting to revive the Far Cry 3 spin-off Blood Dragon and also the cartoon Captain Laserhawk. Well, you're surprised the blood power. See, the thing is, the staying power of Blood Dragon. Blood Dragon was fucking cool as hell. I like Blood Dragon more than I like any fucking Far Cry game I've ever played, because it was stupid as hell, but also self-aware that it was stupid as hell, and I appreciate that. I appreciate and enjoy that. Not everyone did, but I certainly did, and I understand how some people were like, "Oh yeah, that was a time and place thing," and I agree. But anyway, Laserhawk was the spin-off of that, and it was a cartoon on Netflix, and this is a video game that is supposed to try to play off those IPs that they have. I guess Oops, I did this wrong. Okay, so that's got to go like that. And then there's an empty spot because this goes, well, no, because that goes across. This goes across. All right. I'm doing this wrong, so I'm going to fix my mistakes. This goes like that. And then this goes like this, and the empty spot, and then this goes like that. Hell yeah. I'm doing it. Ooh, now we get to do all our buttons here, our Pokedex buttons. This is definitely Nintendo buttons, which is cool. So yeah, it has commentary from Rayman. Rayman talks in it, and perks that are Assassin's Creed. Yes, Lord Crashes, you're right. It's a very stylish property that they own. So basically, they just dumped a bunch of IPs they have together into a game. That's also an NFT thing. And if you want to get into the game, you have to own an NFT to get into it. Niji Warrior cards, which can be bought via the game's website. Then you have to sign in with your wallet. Let's see. You can also sign in through their version of a wallet, a crypto wallet, or you can use the other wallets. And that way you can get into the photo booth. As that said, you'd NFT marketplace where you can. And hey, guess what? Look, I know what you're saying. You're saying, Pat, yes, you can buy an NFT to play, but they minted 10,000 NFTs, like immediately minted a bunch of NFTs for the community that were free. And guess what? All of those have been used, and most of those have not been used in the game. They are trying to be sold so that people will buy those instead of minting their own. Also, guess what? These NFTs are AI generated, because of course they are. Buy low, sell high. Yes. They were built on the Artirum blockchain. 10,000 AI generated NFTs evolve based on your performance and involvement, unlocking exclusive access to in-game assets, governance rights, and perks tied to iconic Ubisoft franchises like Assassin's Creed, Rayman, and Splinter Cell. And this is on a non-Ubisoft website, and small print says the mint part is early access for Ninja Warrior holders, and the full launch of the game is coming out in 2025. And that's right, folks. Right now, if you want to play the game for free, if you want to play the game early, you got to spend money. If you want to pay it later, maybe you don't have to buy NFTs. But if you want to play it now, you got to get those NFT. You got to mint an NFT if you want to play it now. Other than the people who got them for free who are not playing the game. But on Ubisoft's site, it says that the game is out. And then you can buy it. You can buy them for other people. And it's very much a pyramid scheme. Also, Ubisoft's website for it just says reveal your card. It does not say that you have to buy NFTs. you don't find out you have to buy an NFT to play the game until you go to the other website that is not branded at all Ubisoft. So it's a whole thing. There's a lot of stuff. Let's see. And then if you try to play the game without an NFT, you get error codes. Let's see. And then the errors, guess what? The errors that you get from the Ubisoft website, if you try to log in to play this game without an NFT, tell you to go to their website for some problems that you may have with error codes, and those error codes don't show up on Ubisoft's help desk, which is great. Hello, welcome Fart Simulator. We started this tonight. This is a mega Pokemon Kanto region Pokedex, and we will have some different cars that we can place in here that are be lenticular and will look very cool when the time comes. Anyway, I just want to yell about Ubisoft being in NFTs and definitely doing a goddamn scam. Definitely doing a scam. Let's see. Also, they have not promoted it. Yes, they'll let me stop you from ranting about dumb Ubisoft NFTs. I know. I'm wrapping it up. I was looking ahead here. Apparently, Ubisoft has not promoted it as an Ubisoft thing. Just going through other accounts to do it. And it looks like a free-to-play mobile game. But maybe that's on purpose. Ubisoft has not responded to Kotaku's request for comment. But, of course, it's the holidays. So my assumption is they don't really want people to know that they're involved with this at all. And they wouldn't want that, right? They wouldn't want that. It's a nightmare. The fact that they're still doing NFTs is hilarious, and that they are trying to make it seem like it isn't an NFT game when it clearly is, and also that you have to do all that outside of Ubisoft because of course you do. It's all great. All right, it is after 10 p.m. Ooh, we're got connection things here, but looks like we're still okay. So my apologies. Sunk cost fallacy. Yes. So they hired people to be their think tanks for NFT games, and instead of just saying, "Well, that didn't work out," they're like, "Well, we paid someone to think up these ideas. We should do this," instead of just going like, "Ooh, we had a bad bet." They have to follow through on their bad bets because it makes more sense to spend more money to prove that you didn't make a mistake. And you may remember that Ubisoft did have their VP of NFT and Web 3.0 or whatever. He did say in an article that some gamers just don't get it and they don't understand the vision. I'm paraphrasing, but he did say, "You dumbasses don't understand how fucking awesome this shit is." Again, paraphrasing. And so they would rather pay that guy to be wrong and waste a lot of people's time than just cut their losses. Yes. That's a thing. That is a thing, and that is worth mentioning again. So now is the part of the stream where we switch gears. We switch gears a little bit, right? We're gonna mix things up. Let's switch gears a bit. It's after 10, about halfway through the stream. Now is the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you. That's right, you, the viewer, about ways that you can support the channel and what I do here. Everything I'm going to talk about right now is optional. You're under no obligation to do any of the things I'm about to mention here. These are all just things you could do if you wanted to, but again, you don't have to. I try to stress that because I'm going to talk about ways you can support me financially, but you being here is the cool part. So like that's all you got to do. If you want to be here, that's great. That's awesome. But I want to do a little more. First and foremost, if you are currently a subscriber to the Build with Bear workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here financially, because you're already here on Twitch. Reminder, if you do want to sign up for me or anybody else, don't use the Twitch app because you got to pay the Apple tax. So instead, do it through one of their websites. Just do it. Even open a browser on your phone and do it through the website for me or anyone else that you subscribe to, if you wanted to. Very cool. You could also gift a sub to somebody in the community, like Aristofan and Mr. Kung Fu Grip and an anonymous person who gives us subs this month. Bits and coins always appreciated if that's how you'd like to play. And of course, if you want to use your Prime Gaming token on me, that would be great. If you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, you get the Twitch Prime, you get that token. You can use it for anybody. If you want to use it for me, aces. You don't have to. Those are the easiest ways to support me financially because you're already here on Twitch anyway. If you would like to join my Patreon, that's another option. If you want to go outside this website to my Patreon, I've got a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. Thank you for the follow, Fart Simulator. Appreciate that. Welcome. Thank you very much. But yeah, I got a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. Over on my Patreon, there is a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tier. Consider joining me on Patreon. If you want to, you could. And there are different things you can get for doing that. Sometime next week, I will be asking for people for questions. For my Patreon Q&A. I do a monthly Q&A for Patreon. They're the only ones who get it, so that's something to look forward to in the future. And then YouTube. I got a YouTube channel, and subscribing to my YouTube is free, of course. If you want to go over to the youtube.com/PatBear and subscribe there, you could do that. I'm going to drink a little water. Hold on one second. All right. And then... Okay. If you want to do that, jump over on the YouTube. Obviously, subscribing on my YouTube channel is free, so you can just do that if you want to do that. But there's a membership over there, and for just $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. Wednesday, I do a series called Kuma Baer, where I recommend anime. They're YouTube shorts. They're a minute or less. If you want to see those a day early and jump ahead on other people, leave them in the dust, that's $2 a month. Those are all monthly ways to support me. If you would like to help me out as like a tip jar, I've got a Ko-Fi, and of course I got a PayPal, and you could do that directly. That's kind of my tip jar like that. And everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense. So watching my YouTube videos helps me out financially. Through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And I take money out of that fund to buy model kits and Lego sets and gear occasionally. I recently bought some new light bulbs to help with this. This all looks, or my overhead stuff looks a lot nicer. All of this looks nicer now because of that. But I also buy model kits. I recently acquired a model kit called the Forbidden Gundam. And I'd be happy to work on that kit. Right now, however, I am working on a brick set that was purchased along with a model kit that we just finished and a Lego set that I'll be working on soon that were all purchased off my Amazon wish list by Aristofan. If you would like to be like Aristofan, maybe get me a Christmas gift. It might not even arrive before Christmas, but that's okay. That's fine. You could do that. Now, I am aware Teamsters are on strike. They have not called for a boycott of Amazon. If they do call for a boycott, I certainly will stop mentioning my wish list until such time as they get what they want. If you don't feel comfortable buying from Amazon now or anytime, I get it. If you want to buy something from Amazon, it's convenient, which sucks, but it is convenient. So I've got the list. There's some stuff there. Everything from a 500-piece puzzle of Magic the Gathering cards that I bet is a fucking nightmare because they all look very similar. And I bet I will hate doing it. To Lego kits, model kits, all kinds of different things. A 1-to-1 scale sushi shrimp. It's like a ball of sushi or ball of shrimp with a shrimp on top of it that is a 1-to-1 scale. I would love to build that model kit. That's going to be a pretty quick one, I bet. But I would love to build it. That's on my wish list. All kinds of different things. See if there's something there you'd like to see me put together. There's some knockoff Lego and some actual Lego and some inexpensive kits and some expensive kits. All kinds of different things and things. See if there's something there you'd like to see me build. You could buy it. Comes to me in the mail. I'll make it'll jump the queue, be the next thing I build, and I'll make a dedicated YouTube video about the things you purchased, like I did with the purchases that Aristofan made. My alternative to Amazon, it's nice to have an alternative, is Throne. You can check out my Throne wish list. There's not as much there, but everything on that list is not purchased through Amazon. So if you want to avoid Amazon, that's the way to go. And then, of course, if you want to financially support me in the most convoluted, complicated, unnecessarily complicated way, I have supplied that for you, and people have done it, which always makes me laugh. You can go to USA Gundam Store. At USA Gundam Store, you can buy a gift card. They'll send you an email with the gift card code. Then you send me a whisper here on Twitch, or you could send me a private message on Twitter or Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code, and then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. And you can even make a suggestion if there's something there you'd love to see me build. If I haven't already built it, certainly. But that is the most ridiculous way to financially support me, because it's just so many steps. I didn't even mention the part where you need to make an account with USA Gundam Store to get the gift card in your email, or gift card code, I should say. It's ridiculous. But that is the most convoluted way to support me, which people have done. More people have done that than buy something through Throne, which makes me laugh every time. Now, if you want to support me and not spend any money, I have a Discord, and you are welcome to come join the Discord. We'd love to have you over there. It is a cool place for fun people. Come hang out on the Discord. And then also, a couple video links I would love for you to check out. On Monday, I will have a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club. It'll be my top 10 list for 2024. That's right. I compiled the list and I made a video about that list. So you can watch that and see my top 10 and one honorable mention. If you would like to see what awards I gave out this year, well, you can watch that video. Pat Baer's Anime Club, my anime awards for 2024, positive and negative awards. And it starts with a joke, that reoccurring gag that kind of counts, but not really. But I still think it was fun to do. And then my weekly anime recommendation series, I already mentioned it, Kuma Baer. This week I talked about Trigun, because all through the month of December I'm talking about my favorite anime from the 1990s. So I talked about Trigun, which I love so much, because Vash the Stampede is a goofball that is occasionally awesome. And that is very 90s, but also peak anime. It's very good. I love Vash the Stampede, and I love Trigun. And so I was able to talk about that for a minute and try to sell you on the show. It's funny to sell you on a show that's incredibly popular worldwide. They made a new version of it. It's that popular. But anyway, it's still fun for me to talk about that. Okay, so I have some anime episodes to chat with you about, which we'll get to here in just a second. Before we do that, what I need to do is dramatically transition back to the overhead camera. I also need to drink some water, and I have some music to play. So we got to do all those things, and we'll do those right now. All right. I did the thing. Now it's time to talk about anime. Let me click the thing here. Let's talk about episode 12, the final episode of season 1 of Dandadan, which I watched yesterday, which allowed me to finalize my anime top 10 list, because I needed to know where to put Dandadan. It's in my top 10. It made the cut. I just didn't know where it was going to go. So I felt like I needed to watch the episode first, which I did. Okay. A bunch of stuff is happening here in episode 12. Again, season 2 has been announced. This is episode 12, the end of the first season. We have recently been introduced to a new character. His life is weird, and things are going bad for it. Some bad things have happened at his house, and there's definitely some monsters afoot. He's a goofball, seemingly, but maybe he's acting like a goof. And also, of course, he has a personal connection to Momo, and that might be trouble for Okuran. We start with Okuran asking Seiko, aka Grandma, if Hannah can stay there, which she agrees. And then everybody gets ready for dinner. Gigi, I should say, and Momo are chatting and laughing and kind of like reminiscing, and that bums out Okuran. Taro kind of remembers Okuran remembers Taro's advice to Hannah from previously in the season, and he basically is just like tells Momo, I'm gonna fight for this. I'm gonna fight for this, but doesn't elaborate, and she is rightfully confused about what he just said and why he just said that. And then Okuran and Gigi are like acting kind of shitty to one of they're cross with each other. They're clearly just being ridiculous boys about it. All right, I pop this out now, and this thing lights up. Hell yeah, this lights up. Look at that. My overhead camera is not going to love it, but apparently, yeah, it flashes a little bit and then turns itself off. So it doesn't stay on, which is good. It comes on, it flashes, and then it turns off eventually. That's very cool. So we have this now. I did not expect that. Well, it's going to go off as I push it down, but it'll turn itself off. This is fucking cool. They start singing a slam dunk song at each other. Yes, Nathan. Yes. There are a lot of... I was joking about this before, about how Dandadan has more pop culture anime references than Nokotan, which has a lot of weird references in it, and Dandadan has more. But yeah, they're just acting weird, and then it's just a fucking slam dunk reference, and it's wild. And then they are basically told to fucking cut it out. Momo is going to Gigi's place, which seems like a bad fucking idea, but she is a psychic, and she is got a strong psychic, because Grandma's powers don't really work outside of the area, but Momo's powers do. So Momo has to go, which seems like a bad call. I think they sing 2 slam dunk songs. It's also very funny. They didn't translate them at all for the dub. Yeah, I haven't seen the dub, Lashbrook, so I wouldn't know. But also, I like it when they don't, when they just do the Japanese song. I personally prefer that, but I know sometimes they do change things up. Momo's just like, yeah, I'm going. And then Momo does ask Okuran to come along, which is smart. Because Okuran does have powers, and so it's probably a good idea for him to be there. And then we cut to the school, and there's a bunch of students in the school. Taro, who is in the building, wants to go see Hana and gets hit by a truck, and that is, I guess, the comedic moment of this, one of the comedic moments of the video, or the episode, I guess I should say. It's fucking weird, but fun. Momo and Hana were there, and then Taro's just like, hey, sorry about that. I'll be on time next time. Gigi, we cut to Gigi. He cannot sleep because he's feeling a weird presence. and he is right to not be able to sleep because there is a weird presence that is creeping around. Gigi, Momo, and Okarun are on the train. They are heading towards Gigi's house. Okarun has decided, hey, I need to focus on getting my gold ball back, which I'm going to be honest, he kind of probably should have been trying to figure that out before this. It felt like, yeah, dude, yeah, man, you should be thinking about that stuff. You should think about getting your ball back. Yeah, man. Like maybe some other time you should have been thinking about that. Maybe now's not necessarily the best time to be talking about that stuff. But yeah. But also he's just fucking bothered by the fact that he doesn't feel like he can deal with as well as he should Gigi and Momo being so close. It's just bothering him. Okarun starts trying to get Momo's attention, talking about stuff they have in common. That leads Gigi to bringing up the legendary serpent and its shrine. For his village has a legendary serpent, and there's a whole story about this serpent, and I'm sure that won't be important at all. I'm sure that was just a random line, a random bit of dialogue they put in this episode, and it doesn't mean anything. But Momo was like, ooh, really? Okay, tell me more about that stuff. Okarun brings up the fact that there are mummified kappas and they have a shrine as well. And Gigi and Okarun talk about that, and they're having a pretty okay time, and maybe Gigi's not so bad after all. And Gigi is the guy who says, hey, he makes the first move and be like, how about you and I become friends? What if that happened? And Okarun doesn't immediately say yes, which is a little petty of him, but also, I mean, he's feeling his feels. He's a high school kid. He's stuck. He's in way over his head in a lot of ways, including the baddie that is in his life. Like, absolute, like, in over his head in so many ways, including Momo, that, like, I get why he's just like, I am not ready to make peace with this dude. And I get it. I may have put this in the wrong spot. I'm going to see. Okay, yes, I did. This needs to go higher. This needs to go on the other side like this. Yeah, like that. All right. We are almost done with bags 1 through 3. We are almost ready to open up bags 4, 5, and 6, which we will do when the time comes. I need yellow here, and then I need 3 of these. This should be pretty straightforward here. Let's see. They arrive at Gigi's village, which of course has a hot spring, because of course it does. And his dad is researching volcanoes, we find out, and that's why they moved there. They go to the house and they inspect it. And Momo's just like, I don't really sense any ghosts, or spirits, so they must be hiding their presence. Momo decides, actually, fuck this. I'm going to the hot springs to investigate that. And she'll be like, I'll come back by evening. And Momo asked Okarun to stay with Gigi, which, splitting up the gang, never a good sign. Never a good idea. They shouldn't be splitting up. But anyway, now we have a chance for Okarun and Gigi to have some bonding. Okay, so this goes here. They play some soccer or football, if you're, depending on where you're from. Gigi asks Okarun about Momo and his feelings for Momo, and Okarun's just like, yeah, I respect the hell out of her. And Gigi's is like, yeah, I mean, I'm in love with her. I love her face. I love her personality. Okarun's like, yeah, I love that too, man. Yeah. And then they argue about it. And while they're arguing, Okarun's just like, what the fuck's happening right over there? There's a new room that wasn't there before, and it's fucking sinister. There's a sinister vibe happening. Meanwhile, in a situation that really feels like the first episode of Dandadan, and we may be coming full circle, the bathing area, the hot spring that Momo's in, suddenly a bunch of dudes show up, and they're like, it's a co-ed bath. And that feels weird. Gigi and Okarun want to find out what's in the secret room. And then the men are just like, yeah, we like coming to baths to target women, which is like, what the fuck? And it ends with one of them grabbing Momo as Gigi puts a hole in the wall, which also bad idea and so many bad ideas. The fact that Momo was in this already, the fact that Momo didn't use her psychic powers as soon as they entered and seemed creepy was weird, but whatever. We're going to find out what's happening here. This ends a lot of huge cliffhangers on both sides of the fence. Again, don't separate when you're doing with spooky stuff. You should not separate. That was a foolish decision. Of course, I'm not victim blaming Momo. I am just saying that if we find ourselves in scary, weird, off-putting situations with aliens and monsters and all kinds of stuff, you stick together. And then Gigi and Okarun having some stuff was weird. It's one of those things where, like, if you told me that this was part 1 of a 2-core and season 2 was starting in 2 weeks, I would go, or part 2 was starting in 2 weeks ago. Oh yeah, this is a good mid-season cliffhanger. Season 2 is coming out in the summer. So we just have the spring, right? The spring, summer, I can't remember. Season 2, Dandadan. Because there's a teaser, and then let's see what Crunchyroll had to say about this. July 2025. Okay, so it's July. So it is the summer season. So we have 2 seasons in between, which seems like a fine amount of time in between. So I was mistaken about that. It is not the spring season, it is the summer season. We have some time. But yeah, okay. Comes out in July. Yeah. It kind of felt like maybe we didn't need to introduce Gigi, and Gigi could have been season 2. And it could have ended at episode 10. It could have ended with Gigi arriving, right? Like at the end of episode 10, where Gigi shows up and it's like, oh, what's this going to be? Who's this guy? Like, to me, that could have been it. Nathan, memory hold the hot spring scene. It's really hard to recommend Dandadan when the first season is bookended by implied sexual assault on Momo. Yes. So spoilers for my video on Monday. I don't mention the end of it, the hot spring scene, but I do mention the first episode in when I'm talking about it, because it is an anime with a caveat. And I think some of the best shows do have caveats. They do have things you need to say. They do have, like, hey, I think that I shouldn't say the best shows. I shouldn't say that, like, oh, all the great shows have fucked up scenes. To me, and this is just my own personal, it's everybody's take on it, it's not disqualifying if there is stuff that you have to, like, say, like, hey, this is a thing that you should be aware of, right? Again, not saying that, oh, well, just fucking watch it and you shouldn't care about that stuff. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that there's, like, fucked up shit, and I think it's worth having that conversation about those things. Like, people were mad at season 1 of Oshi no Ko because there was a a thing about like, hey, if you have, suicidal thoughts, that here's some numbers you can call. And people were like, that's spoiling an element of the episode. And it was like, well, you can fuck off. You can fuck right off. When I talk about season 1 of Oshinoko, I do mention how there is a character who is contemplating suicide and how that is handled fucking weird and poorly in the show and almost never brought up again because the mangaka really wanted to take a from the headline story about a wrestler who had killed herself and how that fucking sucked, and how when the mother of that woman, young woman, talked about that, she got hate online from fucking fans of Oshinoko because they assumed that she was like shitting on their anime or their manga that they like. So it's just like, all that stuff sucks, and you should be able to, and you totally should, when talking about these things, bring them up. So like, yeah, if you're going to talk about Dandadan, I actually just rushed through the manga before your sub ended. Yeah. Oh yeah, like Glassbrook, I'm not saying that episode 1 is going to start with season 2 is going to start with something like, yeah, there could be twists and turns to it. I'm just saying that the one of the last moments you see in the last episode of season 1 and a very early episode moment in episode 1 of season 1 are fucking rough for a lot of people. And for some people, that's when they're like, okay, I'm done. That's their breaking point. And I think like, yeah, totally understandable, and like not here to say anything different about it. Like not here to say, well, you're wrong. Just like, yeah, like totally. If it's a deal breaker, it's a deal breaker. And I totally get it. You know what? I'm going to save episode 11 of Dragon Ball Daima for Monday, because I will have an episode of Ranma 1/2 to talk about. And I'll talk about the episode 11 of Dragon Ball Daima on Monday. We'll do that instead of tonight. We'll do that on Monday, on Moon Day. Yeah, let's break those up instead of me talking about manga and anime, because I will have that. There is one show. Let me look at AniChart real quick and see if I can find this. There is a show for next season that is starting this month. If I look at winter 2025 and look at airing next episode, yes. So one show is actually starting in like 7 days, like a week from now, or 6 days and 10 hours from now. So it'll be basically a week. Next, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, we actually start the first season. So we'll start the first season before January. And then the next one after that is a couple days later. That is Beheneko. Yeah, like behemoth. Beheneko. I think that's how you pronounce it. Or Beheneko. The elf girl's cat is secretly an S-ranked monster, which I don't think is a good show. I don't think it's a good manga. I don't know what it is like a show. I don't think that's a good manga. But that is the first one to air. That's the beginning of the season. There's a CG monster in the fucking photo. So I already know. And there's 2 studios listed. So I already know that I'm not fucking gonna be super amped about this particular product. Maybe it'll be fucking great. And I'm wrong. But the vibes don't feel great. And then... the Nut anime is coming out. So when I say that, the literal translation has been changed here, and they're going with skill fruits. But the manga that I remember reading a scanlation of called them nuts and not fruits. The Nut anime. Yeah. So I've been thinking of it as the Nut Show. It's bogus skill, Fruit Master. About that time, I became able to eat unlimited numbers of skill fruits that kill you. So the premise of that one is pretty simple, and I think you can probably vibe out with that. All right. So I have done there are some extra pieces that we didn't use. That always happens. We've got some time left in the stream. I'm going to open up bags 4, 5, and 6 and do some knolling of that. But we won't get into the building portion of that yet. But we'll do some knolling in the time we have left. That show that show's a week and a half from now. Basically, if you eat a skill fruit, you that's how you get your skill, right? But if you eat a second one, you die. And that's how you get powers. And so our main character eats a skill fruit, and the skill he gets is a bogus skill, as the title implies, where called fruit cultivation. And nobody knows what that means. It means he can just eat as many of them as he wants. He accidentally eats a second skill fruit, and he's fine. And so he realizes, oh, I can just... That's how I'm going to become powerful, is I'm just going to eat all of these. It's very dumb. His skill is, he can just get even stronger. It's one of those things, like, he's not banished, he just has a bad skill, but you could argue that it's part of the banished subgenre, the kick/banish subgenre, because he is like, he's got a bad skill. Like, it's just an overpowered main character that nobody thinks is overpowered. Like, that's the vibe that we're going with this. I don't think that's going to be good, but that is coming out. Again, I'm going to be talking about all this the end of the month when I do my preview here. There are a bunch of isekais, possibly the greatest alchemist of all time, Headhunter to Another World from Salaryman to Big Four, which is very fun and good. I really like that one. That's a silly one. Yeah, we got a bunch of... Wait, let's... Oh, God, there's a new... Grisaya. There's a new Grisaya. Holy shit. Grisaya is like fucking visual novel nonsense. God. I watched all up to like, I think like, I haven't seen the last one, but I watched like so many of those where it's just like the perfect student who can like, is a master of all these things and like incredible. And then he ends up like helping a bunch of girls who all fall in love with him because he's so awesome. And he's even helped older ladies. In the flashback, he's like a playboy. And it's just like nonsense because he has no personality. God, I forgot all about that. While I check something out, now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? Are you getting ready for the holiday season? Is it just another weekend and you don't have anything planned? Let me know what you're up to and what you're into, because you know that I always like hearing from you about that stuff. I will say for me, it's been mostly Hearthstone and Marvel Rivals. That's been my D&D crew is on break. We just started up, but we are on break right now. And so we will reconvene next year. So right now I am playing a lot of Marvel Rivals with my friends. We did a little bit of Helldivers. Some of the new stuff for Helldivers is good, and I'm having a good time with Helldivers right now. I can say that I'm having a good time with the Helldiving. So that's nice. But mostly it's Marvel Rivals. I've been still using Punisher with Rocket Raccoon. A buddy of mine likes to main Rocket Raccoon, and I'm maining Punisher, and we are a great team. And it is broken, but so much of that game is broken in the best way possible. So it's fine. It's completely fine that it's broken because it's really fucking fun. I'm really enjoying Marvel Rivals. And then Hearthstone, I got a couple weird decks that I'm having a good time with. So I've been enjoying that, my time with both those games. Because I got a really silly deck. I have this deck in Hearthstone right now where the way it works is I make a Draenei that is a 4-cost Draenei that makes it. The battle cry is you make a 2/3 copy, or you make a copy of the thing you just played. And then I have a 7 cost minion that has a taunt that says Death Rattle. Play any of the battle cries of any Draenei that you summoned this game. So it makes a copy of itself. When it dies, it makes a copy of itself, which is still a 7/7 with taunt. And you can then put like, oh, when this dies, make 2 copies, or kill this and bring it back to life, or freeze it and get another copy. And so you just make an impenetrable wall. And there's so many ways that if they, like, you can then outlast your opponent, having a bunch of ways to break your wall. And it's very silly, and there are ways to cheat it out, to play it early and to make copies. And it's like a nonsense deck that sometimes it's hard to find the cards you need, but if you can, it just, people just concede. They're just annoyed with you and the weirdness that you've done. Unless they can do damage over the top on you, which certainly people can. It is very fun, and I have had a really good time with that very silly, goofy deck. So I'm really enjoying that nonsense. That's my Hearthstone deck du jour. I did want to just quickly check to see what the Isekai tag is going to be for the winter season. So let's look up that. We want to do 2025. We want to do winter 2025. And I will be checking what y'all have been writing in there. I will be checking out what you wrote, because I always like to see what y'all have been saying about what y'all are up to. Okay, so this upcoming season, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 fucking Isekai next season, which is more than this previous season, but not as many as the winter season often has. But usually it's the spring and summer. Spring is where all of the Isekai go, and then summer as well. But don't worry, so there will be more. There will be Isekai. And of these, I don't know what Promise of Wizard is. I'm going to watch Headhunter to Another World. Magic Maker seems kind of neat. Alchemist seems kind of good. I bounced right off the manga of The Red Ranger Becomes an Adventurer in Another World, but I know that people like that one, so maybe I'll watch that. There's one that is a short that we won't get, so I won't be able to won't be able to watch that one. And then The Daily Life of a Middle-Aged Online Shopper is a fine enough manga, so I probably won't end up watching it, because I bounced off that manga because it was just quote unquote fine, and I didn't end up like really enjoying it, so I'm not gonna check that out. But yeah, I still might. I don't know. So right now I can say of the we got our lenticular Pokemon. I have 3 of them here. Eevee and all that. They're very cool. They're very, very cool. I'm just trying to I got the other ones. Hey. And then these work really well. And again, they're all the Mega Constructs versions of the Pokemon. Very neat. Yeah, I'm just doing some sorting here, making sure that I can find all the stuff I need when I need it, and make my life easier. Because all of this is going to go back in the box after the stream, because Monday I have Lego, and I don't want to confuse any of this with the Lego that I will be building on Monday. Bureaucrat to Villainous is fine. I'm the no. Oh, you know what? This one's actually pretty good. This is a pretty good manga. I'm a noble on the brink of ruin, so I might as well try Mastering Magic. I'll watch that one. That one is totally enjoyable. There will be something there. I said tonally enjoyable, but totally enjoyable is what I meant to say. There'll be something there for me to dig into. That I remember that being a perfectly fine manga, which I think I'm up to date on. So yeah, I'll probably check out I'm a Noble on the Brink of Ruin. Because again, I like those. Those are isekai that I don't dislike, and so I don't know if I'm going to cover it, on a weekly basis, but There's an anime on my top 10 list that is from this season that I didn't cover weekly. I just enjoyed on my own because it's just really fun and cute. I'm not going to say what it is, but it was right now. You'll have to watch the video, but it was really cute, and I was happy to include it on my. It made my top 10. I didn't know if it was going to, but when I started looking at them and breaking my list down from 20 to 10. It kept surviving cuts, and I was like, no. But yes, when I wrote down when I listed all of the anime that could be in my top 10 list, I ended up with 20. Now, one of those is Whisper Me a Love Song, which cannot be included because episodes 11 and 12 of Whisper Me a Love Song didn't come out. They are coming out December 29th, and so they do not make the cutoff. And then I should also say that Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead, which didn't make my cutoff last year and therefore was eligible for this year, made it to my top 20, did not make it to my top 10, mainly because episodes 10, 11, and 12 weren't that good. Who knew that the episodes that were clearly rushed and didn't look that great, I wouldn't want to include in my top 10 list. Amazing. I know I'm going to look at what y'all have been writing as I start putting a bunch of pieces in this box, the box that the set came in. You can see what it's going to look like when it's done. What have y'all been writing? Ghostfell says mainly just Balatro and PoE2. Hell yeah. I hope PoE2 is treating you well. Getting ready for Christmas dinners. Not sure what to make, but we'll decide after seeing what's left over at the grocery. Hell yeah. I hope you have a great time, Ghostfell, making some fun meals. Last week celebrated my first full week of being unemployed. Yes, by being incredibly lazy today. Hell yeah. Didn't really plan to. Otherwise, I have been playing a lot of KOTOR. Just got everyone's favorite HK47. Yeah, everybody's fucking favorite. Yeah, favorite. Sure. Enjoy your KOTORing. Nathan says, I just got a PlayStation Portable, which is great for when I want to play games while sports and wrestling is on. Yeah, hell yeah. I hope you enjoy that, Nathan. Yeah, that does feel like the ideal thing where you're just like really close to a PlayStation, but you want to use the TV for something else. And you don't want like the TV on your desk with an iPad or something, but you still want to get some gaming in. That does sound great. I'm just going to put this box down here instead of holding it in my hand because I'm putting pieces in here. And then I will, when we get back to this, I will properly null everything color-wise. But right now, I just wanted to separate and then do stuff like this to make my life easier to find them easier. Let's see. Lord Crashing says, I played the new Winter Wonder level in Astrobot that has some good fun holiday vibes to it, has some new unlockable mascots like Gex, Croc, and a Worm's worm that I didn't recognize until later when you see it in the normal size worms. Hell yeah. Yeah, I've heard very good things about that stage. People were really excited about that, and also that it had more stuff to get in it. People were jazzed about that. I almost dropped a piece here, or I did drop a piece. I gotta remember, I dropped a black 1x1, and I'm gonna have to find that. But it's black on a beige carpet, so it should be viewable. But I have to remember that I did drop a piece as I'm putting these pieces back in here. Because remember, I'm starting a Lego set. I'm actually gonna put this up so that I don't forget. Monday stream, my next stream, which will be on Monday. I am taking a break from the Pokedex here. We're gonna pause the Pokedex so that I can build this Lego Advent wreath. This was a 2-in-1. I built a Christmas wreath like 3 years ago. Forgot I had this box in my closet. Found it this year and was like, oh shit, I should build the Advent wreath. So that's what I'm gonna do for Monday. And then I won't finish it on Monday, so I'll wrap it up on Thursday, which is going to be Boxing Day, for a lot of people in the world. So I felt like that was a fun, post-Christmas, we'll finish it up. Yes, a nice table centerpiece of it made out of Lego. We'll do that on And then when that wraps up, we'll come back to the Pokedex, which we've made a good amount of progress here on our Pokedex. And I will wrap that up on probably towards the end of Thursday. I'll get back to it, I think, maybe next Saturday. And then a reminder, that is going to do it for tonight's stream. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go hang out with some people and see what they're up to. We're going to see what's good out there and spread some cheer. In order to do that, I got to close this. But while I figure out who we're going to go raid, a reminder for everybody that my next stream is on Monday. I am not streaming next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, you will not see a stream from me because I will be doing that on Wednesday. Tuesday is Christmas Eve, and I decided I did not want to do a Christmas Eve stream. So instead of a Christmas Eve stream, I am going to do a Christmas Day evening stream. Lunar Jade is streaming. We haven't rated Lunar Jade in a long time, my friend Heather. She's playing Rogue Legacy 2. That's fun. So we'll go raid Heather. So next Tuesday, no stream because it's Christmas Eve and I'm just going to be with family. But then that Wednesday, because I'll have spent a lot of time with family during the day, that Wednesday evening, I'm going to, instead of watching wrestling, I will not be watching wrestling, and instead I will be hanging out with all y'all and playing Diorama Builder. Diorama Builder has a Christmas-themed build, and so we'll be doing that. So it's kind of building related and also a fun game that I enjoy. So we'll check that out. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Have a great holiday. If I don't see you on Monday or Tuesday or Thursday, season's greetings to you and yours. Thanks so much for being here tonight. Thanks for coming on this raid. I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.